Hey guys, happy July. This month we are saying bye-bye to artificial colors as part of our SuperHero U 2022 program. And we are so excited about this month because eliminating these artificial colors is a relatively easy thing that you can do that can have some tremendous health impacts for you and for your kids. So babe, let's just dive right in. What are in artificial colors and why are they even in our food still? Because a lot of these colors are banned in other countries, yet they're still allowed here.
All rightfully so. If you think about it, artificial colors are essentially made from crude oil and petroleum.
Yuck. Things that don't belong in our bodies.
100%. So, I mean, that's the first thing. And then why they're used, and the clear idea is to promote or enhance the food in order to increase their bottom line. We tend to, as human beings, we tend to like things that have brighter colors.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's frustrating because there's so many studies now that have come out showing the harmful effects of these artificial colors, yet Big Food continues to put them in their food to market to our kids, to sell more at the expense of our kids' health.
Drinks, medicine.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll definitely get into that more. So you mentioned the FDA. Right now there's 7 FDA approved colors on the market. There's 2 reds, there's 2 blues, there's 2 yellows, and there's a green. I think it's worth noting that Red 3, one of the artificial colors, was actually banned from cosmetics in the 90s because it was unsafe, yet it's still allowed in our food.
That's unbelievable.
I mean, that's crazy, right?
We can also look, the grass and the whole idea of the FDA as a organization to protect us. We always are responsible to our own research, and we're here to help as much as possible.
Sure.
If you look at the example of trans fats, we now know they're completely banned because we know there is a direct correlation between trans fats and heart attacks.
Yeah.
This evidence started to show up in the early 70s, mid 70s, and it took approximately 40 years for the FDA to change trans fats from a GRAS substance to a prohibited substance.
Yeah, that's so frustrating. And that's kind of what I think about with these colors is that I think too, this started back in the 70s. There was a physician that was highlighting the correlation between artificial colors and also just artificial ingredients in general to behavior disorders in children. And since then, there's been so many studies to support that. And I feel like it's hopefully just a matter of time before the FDA bans these colors. But in the meantime, the evidence is clear and it's not, in my opinion, worth the risk of putting these substances in our kids' bodies anymore.
100%. Again, if you think about it, it's what we don't know they do is probably more profound than what we do know they do.
Yeah.
And when you think about 37 billion reactions per second in the human body, you're putting petroleum or some type of
crude oil
into the body. And this fine, design machine, there's no telling what could possibly, the risks just aren't worth it.
And let's talk about the risk. So there's lots of studies now that have been done that just have these negative links to certain health conditions. And one of the most prominent ones across most of the colors is this behavior disorder in children. And what they're showing is that, these colors are causing this, or there's a link at least, right, between these colors and these negative behaviors in children. There's even a study done, I think it was in 2012, looking at the classroom setting and eliminating colors from the classroom in terms of, the breakfast that you give your kid or the lunch, and just the improvement of behavior in terms of focus and the learning ability that goes up. I mean, you probably see it a ton in your practice, right?
In general, like I said, some things you would think were not related, like bedwetting. There are some associations there. And again, to cut that out has been helpful.
To cut out the colors, and the kids' diets.
Yeah, sure. And it's one of the first behavioral modifications I recommend to the patient, to my patients.
Yeah, but it's beyond just behavior disturbances and bedwetting, right?
Sure. It goes. Again, it's in several animal studies. It shows a clear linkage to cancer and its effects on being a genotoxin, and that affects DNA and cell structures.
That's scary. I mean, if there's even a tiny % chance that it may correlate, I don't want that in my body. I don't want that in my kid's body.
Why take the risk?
Why take the risk? Yeah, well said. So how do we spot these colors? I think the most obvious is that when you're walking down the grocery store aisles, anything that's like abnormally bright probably, I think more than probably, has artificial colors in it. So, you know, for me, what comes to mind is like the fruit punch juice, the Kool-Aid, the Jello. I mean, they're like these popsicles, ice cream, cereals. I mean, there's so many artificial colors in cereals. Unfortunately, you know, medicines, infant Tylenol has red dye in it.
Last time I checked, I don't think infants really care which color they take.
I mean, so why is it in there? And that's what we hope to like really highlight this month and raise that awareness of the potential dangers of these colors. Why are they still in our foods? But you know, they're also in less obvious places, which really reinforces the point of how important it is to read food ingredients. So anytime you're buying a food, it's so important. Flip it over and read the ingredients. See what's in there. If you see any sort of the artificial colors or those quote unquote natural colors, don't buy it. It's not worth the risk of putting it in your body anymore.
Again, food being an extremely important medicine is actually, I mean, as we like to think of food as being healing, learning how to read a label may be one of the most critical skills that we can learn.
I mean, we think it should be taught in classrooms, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So critical. So all this month, expect to just get lots of information around these artificial colors, where they're hiding, why they're there, what are better alternatives, brand swaps, you know, the medicines that they're hiding in, and so much more. So, you know, like we said, we really hope to just bring awareness to these colors and educate more people on why they no longer have a place. The evidence is clear that they no longer deserve to be in our bodies.
Sure, and the first step, as we all know, is awareness. So hopefully this month we can become more aware and remove these substances from our body. It really is a pretty easy thing to do, and you're not really missing that much. And your upside and the potentials can be just really large.
Yeah, I totally agree. So join along this month, hashtag SuperHeroU 2022, hashtag bye bye artificial colors, or you can visit our website, mysuperherofoods.com, and up at the top you'll see SuperHeroU 2022. You'll find a page where each month we either say hello to something that's serving our health and that is great for our families, or we say goodbye to something that isn't serving our bodies. So we hope you join us on this journey and can't wait to dive in deeper this month.
And we'd love to hear from you. And remember, subtracting is usually even more powerful than adding. So think about that. Subtract something as simple as subtracting these artificial colors can bring a very big impact to both you and your family.
Well said, babe. All right, guys, have a good one.